We continue with the action here inside the Thunder Studios, Long Beach, California. It is Night of Champions 5. Being presented by the fastest rising promotion in the industry, Dmgboxing, along with Top Rank Incorporated. Being sponsored by Fightbook. If you'd like to be considered for future DMG events, sign up at fightbook.com. Happy Jewelers, happy looks good on you. Drive it. Casa Mexico Tequila. Auténtico Corajillo, York Law. Torque Law, representing the people, as well as Adams Boxing, the official brand of boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd like to welcome a very special guest to the ring. He is internationally recognized as the world's youngest ring announcer at only 9 years old. Give it up for the one and only Killer Cam.
And now live from Thunder Studios in Long Beach, California, Top Rank DMG and Fightbook presents Night of Champions 5. For those in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, it's fight time! First, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5 foot 8 inches tall, weighing at 145 pounds, holding fresh record of 19 wins, 11 losses, and 2 draws, with 10 wins coming by way of knockout, representing Team Frias from Tepic, Mexico. Give it up for Alejandro La Ranita Rodriguez. And his opponent fighting out of the right corner, standing 5 foot 10 inches tall, also weighing at 145 pounds, holding fresh record of 70 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, with 13 wins coming by way of knockout, representing Wildcard Boxing from the Dominican Republic. Give it up for TDK, the Dominican Kid, Elvis Rodriguez. Let's get it.
So Beto, the Rodriguez theme is really in effect tonight because it's Alejandro Frias Rodriguez.
A good, solid, clean
kid.
fight. I'm going to work you right here.
Elvis Rodriguez.
He's good over here. Let's touch him up and go to work.
Gerard White, the third man in the ring, and Dana Rodriguez. The judges, Fernando Villarreal, Sergio Caiz, and Jack Reese. For Alejandro Frias in his corner is just Kevin Aguilar. For Elvis Rodriguez, it's the cut man, my favorite cut man named Rodriguez, Andrew Rodriguez.
Yes.
Your favorite cut man too, named Andrew.
Sometimes.
Pedro Garcia, strength and conditioning coach, Marvin Samodio, and the one and only Freddie Roach at the corner of Elvis Rodriguez. They've been together since day one as professionals, Elvis and Freddie. The Southpaw Rodriguez fighting with Top Rank, getting shine tonight. This was scheduled for 10 rounds. You could say it's a stay busy fight, an active fight, but anytime you have Ranita Frias in front of you, it's never going to be easy.
Absolutely, and Elvis, you know, his last fight lost a very close, disputed decision to one of Robert Garcia's guys, Lindolfo Delgado.
Yeah.
And a lot of people thought Elvis won, including himself. And, you know, it's good to get right back in there because, you know, Elvis with 1 or 2 wins could be in line to fight for a world title, and he can pretty much fight anybody at this stage of his career.
Yeah, it was 96-94 twice for Delgado, and one judge had a draw at 95.
Absolutely, and those kind of fights right there, you know, depends what a judge is looking for. One thing Elvis has, he has a really good shotgun jab. He's really good on his feet. And he's a very, very strong guy. Not just punching-wise, but he's physically a strong guy.
His only other loss was to a very talented Kenneth Sims Jr. back in 2021. That was a majority decision that went in favor of Sims. And after that, rattled off victories over Romero, Juan Jose Velasco, Joseph Adorno. Victor Posto, that was a heck of a battle against Posto. He stopped him in the 7th round.
Yes, and that, you know, was a little bit because Freddie had trained Victor Postal, who was one of Freddie's fighters, and You know, he was fighting Elvis at this stage of his career. So, you know, it's never an easy thing when two of your fighters that you've trained, or even even in my case that I work with, when they end up fighting each other. But sometimes the law of averages just bear that out.
No, it's the fight game.
This is Elvis's second stint actually with Top Rank. He had gained some notoriety and some traction during the pandemic, and then after that loss to Sims, you know, he was let go by Top Rank, and he rebuilt himself back up, and he put himself in position where Top Rank wanted to sign him again, and hats off to everybody with that.
What's holding Elvis back from getting that elite title?
Well, I mean, if he gets that decision against Delgado, then he's in a completely different position. Now he's like Delgado fighting in Mexico next month for a world title. So, you know, sometimes, like in a lot of sports, it's a game of inches, and it's how the ball will bounce for you. But like I said, he gets in there after this fight, he does what he's supposed to do, and he gets in there with a top guy and beats him. The trajectory of his career is changed. I like what he's doing. He's maintaining his range. He's getting his body warmed up, and he's not doing anything he's not supposed to do.
Scheduled for 10 rounds. Elvis Rodriguez, the Dominican southpaw. He's not a track star. He's not going to be running out crazy right away. He's going to work his way.
And that's what a pro does at this stage of his career. You know, he's well schooled. It's just kind of his demeanor. If you see him train in the gym, this is kind of the pace he goes at. But when he needs to turn it up, he definitely does. And one thing Elvis does is he listens to instructions very well. And him and Freddie and Marvin in the corner, Marvin Zamudio, they have a really good rhythm. And as he goes to the body right there, and as you can see, this as Frias squares up a lot, and he's not afraid to take a couple to give a couple. As you can see with that high guard defense where he just kind of walks forward, and he's going to try to put himself in position so that he can land a punch. And one thing Elvis has to do, as their heads kind of clash together, which you will see sometimes with a southpaw and a right-hander, is their heads may come together.
Gerard White, our third man in the ring. And it's been a while for Ranita since he's been stopped. He goes to decision. He's tough. Last time he was stopped was back in 2022 against Kevin Johnson. That was in the 4th round. And the other time was against Brock Jarvis. That was in Fresno. On Mikey Garcia's last fight, when Mikey lost to Sandor Martin, I was working that show against Brock Jarvis, and he was giving the Australian everything possible. And then in the 5th round, got caught by Brock Jarvis, and he was stopped in the 5th.
Yeah, I remember that fight, and this is his 4th fight of the year. So, you know, with a guy like him, if he doesn't get stopped, he's probably going to fight, you know, maybe 1 or 2 more times before the end of the year.
Oh, you know, he fought in April in Tijuana, went the distance. Then there was that unknown fight in Tepic. Then his last fight was at the end of August, also in his hometown Tepic.
I'm hoping maybe they can line up unknown for me.
Oh, you gotta be watch out for unknown. TBA is another somebody that's really, really good though.
Yeah.
I think he's more your caliber.
Thank you. Elvis landed a good right hook upstairs and downstairs, and he's staying dedicated to that. And Elvis has a really good uppercut. As you can see, that left uppercut, he throws it very short. He doesn't waste a lot of movement with him. And one thing Elvis does when he goes backwards that a lot of guys don't do, a lot of guys get really big. They make themselves a big target as they pull back. If you watch, he's got very strong legs. He bends his knees when he goes back, so his legs and his head are always underneath him. And he landed a little sneaky body shot.
Uppercuts, 2 of them by the Dominican. As the Mexican's in the corner, he's now against the ropes, and he gets stunned. His knees buckle, and Ranita against the rope is in trouble. 10 seconds to go in round number 2. Excellent finish for Elvis Rodriguez, and he dropped Alejandro Frias.
That was an excellent.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And it's a KO. A 2nd round KO for Elvis Rodriguez, as Alejandro Frias was caught and went down and never got up.
That was a beautiful, beautiful right hook to the body. And I know on the replay we're going to see it. It was well placed. He didn't even have to really load up. When you place a body shot like that, it's the location. It's the location of where you place it and really your body does some weird things.
So much for he's going to work his way. Like you said, Mike, he's a pro. He's going to build up to it. No. He took care of business. He sensed Frias was hurt and went after it.
And the beautiful thing about that, as we watch is the action here, and you can see Elvis. He's got a good head movement. That uppercut really did some damage. He started to set things up. He's punching within range. He's not smothering himself. And there you see it go down, and he's going to do it one more time. Frias gets a little bit desperate. Alberts is defensively responsible right there. A little short chopping hook, and I stand corrected. I thought it was a short hook to the body. It was a nice short right hook to the chin.
And the way that Frias was pounding the mat, that was a lot of pain.
Absolutely.
All the Karate Kid songs coming on. You're the best around.
Yeah, is that a compliment?
All Valley Karate tournament for you, Mike.
You know, I live in the Valley, and I've never seen one of those karate places, and I drive around everywhere to see one of those things.
Lupe, let's make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the DMG boxing ring, referee Gerard White reaches the count of 10 with an official time of 2 minutes 59 seconds of round number 2, declaring the winner by way of knockout, the Dominican Kid, Elvis Rodriguez.
I thought we were going to get rounds. I thought, because Frias, having seen him, and just like you, Mike, I thought we were going to go the distance in this one.
You know, Elvis, he doesn't get paid for overtime. The great thing about this is it's mid-October. He got some 3 good rounds in, and they could put Elvis in another fight. 2 rounds, I'm sorry. They could put Elvis in another fight, you know, by the end of the year. Take about a week off and get right back in. And I know Top Rank has to be real happy about this.
They did it right in front of Bruce and Brad.
2 legends right there.
So 3 fights done, and so far, 3 for 3 in stoppages. Andres Cortez with the 4th round. Jesus Aguiar a 6th round. And then Elvis Rodriguez with a 2nd round KO. And if you're looking for Lawrence King, his fight is off tonight, so Lawrence King will not be fighting. We still got Otar Erenosian, Perla Bazaldula, Chop Gonzalez to come, and Sam Arnold.
Yeah, lots of good action still coming up. We're off to a really good start. I know Freddie Roach has to be happy.
Look at the replay or the highlights of that two-round fight. Let me get the words out.
I mean, great punch selection by Elvis right there. And I love a fighter that punches, that gets guys punching at the end of his shots. As Team Wildcard comes by us, we're saying congratulations to them. And that was just a really good punch.
When nice you see what's going on, the top-ranked brass talking with Freddie right now.
Absolutely. And, you know, they got a long-standing relationship. A lot of people, maybe they don't know the history. Freddie was a top-ranked fighter back in the day. He fought for them many times.
The fighter standing in the blue corner tonight, he weighed in at an official 123 1/4 pounds and wearing black with purple trim. This battle-tested veteran enters the DMG ring for the 5th time as a pro, fighting out of Escondido, California, El Azteca, Eduardo Mondragon. His opposition across the ring in the red corner, wearing white with black trim, he weighed in at 121 pounds tonight. He enters the big leagues of professional boxing, making his debut inside of the DMG boxing ring. Fighting out of Hollywood, California, Alejandro Dorame. With final instructions, referee Eddie Hernandez Sr.
All right, your trunks are a little high, so right here and up is going to be good. Gentlemen, I've been over the rules with you both. You're professional and expect you to conduct yourself as such. Touch gloves, good luck.
Eddie Hernandez Sr., the 3rd man of the ring. Christy Rosario, Ron Scott Stevens, Fernando Villarreal will be your judges. Eduardo Mondragon, 0-4, looking at his first professional victory out of Escondido, has Anthony Cardenas Cedeno and Cristina Ayala in his corner. Making his debut, Dorame from Hollywood has Raymond Alcorta. Juramo Delgado, Dorian Solis in his corner. Mike, you've seen a lot of kids make their pro debut. What's the best advice you have for them?
You know, listen to your trainer. Don't get too excited. Everything's going to be fast and really speed it up. You want to slow everything down. It's not going to be easy. I had a chance, actually, because I got here earlier. These two guys were two of the first guys who showed up for the weigh-ins. I got a chance to talk to both of them for about 15, 20 minutes. Nice kids. Mondragon, he's looking to, as we like to say in sports, he's looking to get off the schneid. He's 0-4. I always root for a guy like that. Alejandro actually is from North Hollywood. And he said he's been an athlete all his life. He really played a lot of soccer. He only had about 10 amateur fights. And, you know, he's looking right now, he's using the jab, and I really like a guy that uses his jab. We hadn't really seen a lot of jabs tonight.
One of the things that youngsters, especially when they're coming from the amateurs, where it's like a minute or maybe 2 minutes in the headgear, and in the amateurs you're rewarded for more for your activity. And sometimes they look like they get shot out of a cannon when they turn pro. Yeah, and that's why by the end of the second round, beginning of the third round, they start to get a little tired. But both guys here, you know, they're trying to work their fundamentals. You know, there's a lot to prove for Mondragon because, you know, he's 0-4. And hats off to him because I don't know after the second time if I would have kept going. Well, Mondragon from Escondido, North County, San Diego. I know that two of the kids he's gone up against were highly touted amateurs, one of them being Pau Barreto, who Henry Ramirez trains. Absolutely. And he went the distance with him. Yeah, so records can be a little deceiving. Sometimes they do tell a story. They're just part of the equation. But even though he's 0-4, and I know Henry and I know Pau, you know, you never know what Alejandro Dorame is bringing either, because in the end, Mondragon might be a better fighter. But that's why they're going to fight 4 rounds. Yeah, he's had 2 fights against guys who are 1-0 and 2 fights against guys who are making their debut for Mondragon. So I give him credit. Have the gloves. I'll fight you. Let's go. Absolutely. Made that nice drive up here. There's nothing wrong with you know where he lives. It's always nice in San Diego. Good right uppercut there by Dorame. Yeah, right hand by Dorame in the white trunks. This was scheduled for 4 rounds. The youngsters are just going to let their gloves fly out of action. And the amount of emotion, the adrenaline that's just running through their bodies right now. Absolutely. I mean, it's an exciting night for Dorame. When you saw the way that Elvis Rodriguez came out, the veteran, like looking at the ring, he's not hopping around, just calm, preserving energy. Now these guys are just Tasmanian devils. Well, pretty much every fight that Elvis has had in his career has been on major TV. Yep. You know, watched by hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. I mean, he's turned himself into a brand. As a good right hand by Dorame really got the attention of Mondragon. And there we see some action. Dorame working off the ropes. I like the fact that he brings his jab back high as he takes a good left hook right there and a good right hand. Mondragon is a little off balance. He could have done a little more with that, but one thing that he does is he pops his head up a lot, and your head position can put you out of position. As we come up here into the second round. And you know, Beto, out of all the fights that I've worked, and I'm on the apron a lot, and I've been, hundreds of TV fights, I always think about how many times I've accidentally almost kicked over the television monitor while I was working the corner. I know that's something you're always on the lookout for and that you probably dread. Yeah, you got to be on the lookout, man. Dorame has very quick reflexes. And as Mondragon lands a 1-2 and he ged knocked down. Ruled slip, yep. Eddie Hernandez, exit referee. Yeah, Eddie's one of those referees that kind of flies underneath the radar, but he's worked a lot of good, solid professional fights, and he's a very dependable referee. He's a good judge. I think Dorame needs to be, he's shown that he can land the jab, and Mondragon, he's been a little bit successful with that 1-2. And I think Dorame's a little bit bigger frame. I think he could push him back with the jab and land some straighter punches, because those wider punches are a little bit easier to see. Now the pace is slowed down. This is more like a professional fight here. I think they realize, okay, The gloves hurt more as a pro because they're smaller gloves compared to the amateurs.
Yeah, there's no headgear, and you got to take a deep breath.
And 3 minutes.
That's a long time.
And you can spar all you want, but it really does make a difference when you're in there.
It's such a huge difference. Your quick twitch muscles are activated. It's kind of a fight or flight thing, physically, mentally, emotionally. The best way I can equate it is all your senses are heightened. Whether you're in a 4-round fight like this or you're fighting at the T-Mobile Arena in front of 30,000 people. To the fighters, it all means the same. But definitely the pace has slowed down a little bit. Guys are trying to catch the rhythm, see what works. But it's an evenly matched fight. Like you said, Mondragon fought 2 undefeated prospects. He's not a big puncher, but you know what, Beto, he's very willing.
That's it right there. He's willing to come at you.
And I don't think Dorame needs to push himself back to the ropes like that. He's given Mondragon an opportunity to land scoring punches.
Good body shot landed.
And I think, if you're scoring this round, I'm leaning a little bit toward Mondragon this round, and we may be tied up 1-1.
Stop at the bell, Jim. Stop at the bell.
That's scheduled for 4. Youngsters putting on a show. DMG Night of Champions 5.
Right there you see cornerman Dorian Solis. There's a good straight right hand. Try to follow with a left hook. But Mondragon keeps punching, lands his own hook of his own, and they kind of tie themselves up, which you will see a lot of younger fighters do. They will tie themselves up. They're still learning their craft. Neither one of these guys had a big amateur pedigree, but it's an exciting fight. It's evenly matched, and DMG Promotions has given the fans their money's worth.
Give them 13 fights worth.
Yeah, that's a lot of fights.
Good mix of fights in conjunction with Top Rank tonight. And you know what? Also, this one point, Mike, that these young fighters who don't have a promoter, they're on a DMG show, but they don't have a promoter. They're looking for opportunities. And whenever you never know who's fighting. That's why I tell everybody, you never know who's watching in any profession that you might be. You as a sheriff department, right? You as a detective, whatever it is, you always have to give out your best. Because if you're a young fighter tonight and you put on a show, you're doing it in front of 2 of the top-ranked executives.
Yes.
That you might open up some eyes. You never know what you find.
Absolutely. They may want to take a look at you, and and maybe they're not signing you, but they may want to take a look at you on one of their shows. And you're right. This is streamed live on Millions and DMG Promotions, and this is an opportunity. It's an opportunity. And when the lights go on, this is your opportunity to shine.
And it's also, you might not get signed, but they might look at you as like, you know what? We have a young prospect that we need to test. Maybe this kid is somebody we test. And if you upset that guy.
Well, the fight before with Jose Marufo.
Yep.
Or about 2 fights ago. Absolutely. This is a good fight. A really good sneaky right hand by Mondragon. And one thing I see is the body language. Mondragon's body language looks a little better in this 3rd round than it did in the 1st round. He's starting to feel like, you know what? I can get my first victory. And you know how big would that be for him?
So who's that man for Top Rank sitting across from us? Because my view's blocked right now.
That is Mr. Bruce Trampler, the venerable Bruce Trampler, who is just an absolute legend.
Matchmaker,
Hall of Famer. Extraordinaire. When you look up at her matchmaker in the dictionary, there's a picture of Mr. Trampler. I've known him for many years. For whatever reason, he's always taken a liking to me, always treated me great, always asked me how me and my family are. It's the same with Brad Goodman. Carl Moretti, all those good folks at Top Rank. They truly know what they are doing. They know what they are looking for.
But again, Bruce doesn't need to be sitting here watching a 4-round fight. But he's doing this, one, for the love, but also there's a business side to it.
Absolutely, and there's a reason why when you go back to the days of, Sugar Ray Leonard and Duran and Muhammad Ali and Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, these were the guys that matched those fights for them earlier in their career. And what I like to say is they're not the Christmas help. These are real, true pros. And in my mind, I don't use this word easily, they are legends.
Well, you'll see Bob Arab, the Bob father in his 90s, 3 o'clock fight, he's right there in Dubai or in Ireland, wherever it might be, he's there watching his guys.
Absolutely. After a good close, a very competitive round as we move into that last round. I think both guys think they can win this fight. You're going to see both corners employing their fighters, that this fight is up for grabs. I don't think either fighter believes they have this fight won yet. They both landed some decent combinations. I think if Mondragon puts up a good round, he could win this fight or at least earn himself a draw. The DJ's doing a good job tonight, Beto, keeping the crowd entertained, keeping us entertained.
A little Maná Corazón Espinado.
Yes. And Dorame is coming. He's got a good little jab. I don't like that he retreats every time he jabs. I don't think he needs to. I think if he worked more in a circle and stayed offline, he'd put himself in better position as he lands a nice right uppercut.
I'm telling you, Mondragon in the black and purple, the Azteca is the nickname. He is better than 0-4.
Absolutely, and you look, that's what, like you mentioned earlier, about who he's been matched up with. He's a very willing participant, and he definitely got my respect. And you mentioned something earlier about fighters that aren't signed to a promoter. They're not going to have the advantages of being able to pick their opponent. They're going to get a call, and basically it's going to see if you want to fight or not.
What do they say to the corner of Dorame, Lindsay Payares?
It's pretty simple. What they're liking right now, just the fact that they believe he's winning this fight, and the recipe for his success is just keep up that pressure, pump up the aggression in this final round.
So the fighter in white's corner thinks they're winning, Mike. It's a close one.
It's definitely close, and he looks a little fatigued right now. As you can see the urgency in his corner. There's 9 guys talking right now, and he's taking some good shots right now. As Mondragon, he feels like he can win this fight, and I think if you're in his corner, his people thinks that he might be winning.
Mondragon's being the aggressor right now.
Good
as
body
Dorame
shot
is against the ropes. Body shot from Mondragon in purple and black.
Yes, and those body shots hurt. Don't let anybody tell you any different. They may not look like it, but they do. And Dorame's tired right now. He's tired, and Mondragon is feeling himself a little bit, and this is what you want to see.
He's got the experience of 4 pro fights, and he's jumping on the young man who's making his debut in Dorame.
Yes, we've seen our first 4 fights with blue chip prospects and world title contenders and hopefuls, and we've got 2 kids right here trying to make their bones, and Mondragon's got Dorame a little bit wobbly.
Mondragon looking for his first victory. I mean, credit to him. Loses his first 4, keeps on going, goes to the gym, and he's not looking like he's 0-4 right now.
Absolutely. He's measuring his punches. He's walking Dorame down, and he looks like a very competent fighter as we come into the last 40 seconds of this fight. Another good right uppercut. Dorame's winging his punches a little wide, and he's looking a little worse for wear. And I really like how Mondragon has composed himself. He looks like a good young professional fighter. Hats off to him, Beto.
This is going to be a tough one for the judges, because this round has been Mondragon who's attacking, putting on the pressure, and Dorame in white is gassed, trying to hold on. Mondragon lands a left hook.
Yes,
another uppercut from Mondragon.
He's in good shape, and this is really going to come down to how did the judges score those first 3 rounds.
This is all Mondragon in the 4th and final round. Crowd inside Thunder Studio loving it. DMG United Champion 5 delivers.
Wow, hats off to these young guys. They did not disappoint. I will definitely clap and show my appreciation and applause. Good for them, and you know they raised Mondragon up a little bit, and he feels like he won this fight.
Yeah, whoever wins, we'll send Lindsay for the interview there.
Absolutely.
If it's a draw, then no. I hope it's not a draw. I want to see a win here.
I have a feeling that at least one judge is going to have this fight 2-2 and a draw.
Yeah.
But Mondragon looks excited right there. Good for him.
He's still ready to go. Look at him. He didn't even take out the mouthpiece. That kid just loves fighting.
And he showed that tonight. because it's not the easiest thing if you haven't had success at something to keep doing it. He was persistent. He gained some momentum. And that's what you like to see. Not every kid's going to be a world champion. Not everybody's going to fight under the bright lights of Madison Square Garden. This is something they'll remember for the rest of their lives. And you know what? People like us that work in the business will remember it also.
Look, everybody's got to start somewhere. You never know where your career's going to take you.
Absolutely.
Four action-packed rounds inside the DMG boxing ring. We consult the official scorecard. All three judges, Christy Rosario, Ron Scott Stevens, and Fernando Villarreal, are in complete agreement with identical scores of 38-38. This bout is declared a unanimous draw.
All right, so we have a draw, and we'll keep it moving.
And a little bit of a wry smile from Mondragon. You know why, Beto?
He knows.
It wasn't a loss, and I think he felt like he won. I have no problems with the draw. Man, let these guys do it again. Let's go 2 more rounds. What do you think?
Not yet for these two, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do it soon. All right, so 4 fights done, 3 stoppages in our first draw. Still got Otar Iranosian, Perla Basaldua, Charles Fonseca, Chop Gonzalez to come here at DMG Night of Champions 5. Yeah, not mad with that decision at all.
It was a fair decision. I definitely think Dorame might have won 2 rounds, and I definitely think Mondragon won 2 rounds, and the judges got it right.
Let's look at the recap. Great job by our team in the truck, getting you these replays and the quick recap of the fight here.
Yeah, what I like is you can see the atmosphere in the venue here. 2 young guys doing some good work. And hats off to the matchmaking on this. Neither guy's a real big puncher, but they asked for no quarters and they gave none. And the crowd's showing their appreciation as both guys make their way out of the ring. And I'm sure no matter what, they're super excited because nobody was tagged with a loss tonight. DMG Boxing Association with Top Rank, and we go one more time for the last introduction of the night, and you know who.
Ladies and gentlemen, we cap off a night of action. This has been Night of Champions 5, being presented by the fastest rising promotion in the industry, DMG Boxing, along with Top Rank Incorporated, being sponsored by Fightbook. Once again, if you'd like to be considered for a future DMG event, register at fightbook.com. Happy Jewelers, happy looks good on you. Drive it. Casa Mexico Tequila, Auténtico Corajillo. Torque Law, representing the people in Adams Boxing, the official brand of boxing. This contest, 6 rounds or less in the super bantamweight division. Our judges are Christy Rosario, Ron Scott Stevens, along with Fernando Villarreal. Presenting first, in the blue corner, he enters the ring wearing blue with silver trim. He weighed in at 122.5 pounds. Tonight, he enters the DMG boxing ring for the 7th time as a pro, with a record of 4 victories against 2 losses, 3 of his victories coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Indio, California, Antonio Marquez. Across the ring in the red corner, wearing white, he weighed in at 121.25 pounds in 7 bouts as a pro. He maintains a record of 4 victories against 3 losses. Representing his homeland of Baguio City, the Philippines, Josephat El Presidente Navarro. Our referee with final instructions, Eddie Hernandez Sr.
All right, gentlemen, your trunks are pretty high, so this here and up is going to be good. Right here and up is going to be good. Gentlemen, I've been over the rules with you both. You're professionals. I expect you to conduct yourself as such. Touch gloves. Good luck. Ron, ready? Sean? Ready? Bucks.
The southpaw, Josephat Navarro, in the white trunks. Antonio Vasquez in the blue trunks. Josephat 4-3. Vasquez 4-2. I love these kind of fights. Guys that'll come to fight as they smack heads immediately and then they touch gloves in respect. Josephat Navarro of Philippine origins, like another famous Filipino southpaw that I've worked with, the legendary 8-division world champion Manny Pacquiao. Fighting out of Orange County in Laguna Hills. And in the blue trunks, Pelon Antonio Vasquez. And they're both exchanged some heavy shots. And both guys take shots. So this is going to be one of those fights, not who has the most power, but who can take each other's power the best. Both guys look like they're going to want to commit to every shot. The final fight of the night from Thunder Studios, Dmgboxing, Top Rank Boxing. Your referee, Eddie Hernandez Sr. Good straight shot there by Josephat Navarro.
Let him go. Step back. Let him go. Let him go.
Your judges, Ron Scott Stevens, Fernando Villarreal, and Christy Rosario. Good straight left. It traveled a long distance, but it did end up hitting Vasquez. Oh, good straight left as Vasquez goes down.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You okay? You want to continue? Here we go.
He takes the 8 count. Referee lets it continue, but he took a good shot. And another straight shot as he gets ready to go down again, and I don't have a feeling this one's not going to be long. As he's taking some hard shots, and referee Eddie Hernandez Sr. waves it off with a first round stoppage by Josephat Navarro.
First round, dog. Have a seat.
First round stoppage. Upping his record now to 5-3. He came out very determined. Landed that strong straight left hand. As I'm joined by one of our ring car girls. And I guess they had a good time tonight. As we go up to our ring announcer for one final time, Lupe Contreras.
The senior steps in and waves off this contest with an official time of 2 minutes, 25 seconds of the opening round, declaring your winner by way of knockout from the Philippines, El Presidente, Josephat Navarro.
Josephat Navarro, a winner for the 5th time in his career. And that closes it out, folks. We want to thank you for joining DMG Boxing in association with Top Rank Boxing. I am your crime fighting cut man, Mike Rodriguez. I want to thank my broadcast partners, Beto Duran, Lindsay Payedes, and all the good folks at DMG Boxing, Anthony Stack Saldana, Ray Alcorta, the manager of Thunder Studios, Roger Ruiz, and all the good folks at DMG Boxing and Top Rank Boxing. Long Beach, Thunder Studios, good night now.